Abuse, rape, or trauma are things that happen to people who are victims at that very moment. Child or adult, there's nothing you could have done to prevent the atrocity. But when it's over, the healing must begin.
It gets harder every day.
You have inner beauty. You have inner worth and value. Framing your past as your past and leaving it there will help you to frame your future and lead you to the place where you belong, with a woman's soul restored. Here's LaTanya Hendry.
Hello, and this is A Woman's Soul Restored. We are at January 18th, 2021. A brand new year, and we are past the halfway point, and I'm just wondering how everybody is doing at this current time. We are, for those that believe in New Year's resolutions, I don't believe in New Year's resolutions, by the way, but we have some that do. And for those of us that have went through trauma or still are in a tumultuous situation, we may take the new year as a time to, say we're going to get out, or if we've been in a rape situation that those memories still flood us, that we might say that this is the year, this is the time that I'm going to repress that memory. But the thing about resolutions is most of the times we don't hit that mark. Most of the times, I know when I did used to make New Year's resolutions, I would, declare certain things at the beginning of the year and probably would do okay in January. But by mid-February, going towards the end of February, I've blown my resolution. So when we make resolutions and they don't come to fruition like we would have them or want them to, it may put us in a darker place. We may become more suppressed because we didn't do the thing we said we were going to do. If we don't leave a domestic situation, or if we're still having those dreams or having those memories of a sexual abuse or an occurrence in our life, we may feel defeated. So in this new year, midways through, if you have made a resolution, I'm not going to say to trash it, but I will say to try to call it something else besides a resolution. And then find more than one avenue to try to stick to your resolution. Don't get caught up on, I have to do this and it's mandatory, and you may have to do it. So let me rephrase it. You may be in a situation that you need to get out of, or those memories might be destroying you beyond what you think is repairable. So you don't want to have those memories. You want to find a way to deal with those memories. But the thing with putting a time limit on something is when you don't meet the mark, you feel worse than when you started. So not only do you have the memories or whatever the situation is you're going through, now you got this thing in your mind that I didn't meet a goal or a quota that I needed to meet. I didn't, it's March and I'm still here in this situation, or I'm still having these thoughts, I'm still having these memories, and you may even feel like, why even bother, and settle just to continuously have those thoughts, or continuously just to stay in that situation that you really need to get out of. So that's why we need to call it something else besides a New Year's resolution. Call it a life plan, call it a life agenda, life goals, something that would make it more feasible and something that's attainable than calling it a resolution, which is something that you got to stick to. And I don't know the proper definition for a resolution, but I know it's something that we want to do in a brand new year. That's why it's called a New Year's resolution. And the goal is to try to begin it in the New Year's and stick with it until you change that habit or change that behavior. So what if we don't do that? What if we're not able to change that habit or change that behavior in a time frame? Because it typically takes 30 to 45 days, 30 to 45 days to correct a behavior or to learn a new behavior. But if you're going through a situation and you're still living in that situation, you're not giving yourself a break to even start at day 1 to get to day 30 to 45. So it's one of those things where we have to be considerate of our own emotions and considerate of what our mind state is and what we're going through from that traumatic event or from that life event that we're still living in and going through, or the children we have to nurture while we're going through these situations, or the jobs we have to go on whilst we're still trying to manage those interior feelings, or the things that we feel might be insignificant, but others don't know about it, so we're trying to deal with it on our own, plus live life. So here is the situation that I've been dealing with lately, because my incident happened some years ago with domestic abuse and also with a rape that happened as a teenager. But when you're going through, because when we get older, things start going on with our bodies. We start having health issues and things that typically are beyond our control. I'm at 53 at this point, and I'm having some issues with a heart issue that I'm not going to claim anything, but that's what the x-rays said, that I can have a left atrial enlargement, panic attacks, stress, and just different stressors that with things that's going on in my life, just regular life, that now have me thinking about things that have happened to me in the past. So I put all the stuff together in my mind, and it seems like it's perpetuated. And I wonder, from a youth until now, still going through things, still, wondering when is my life going to be okay? Why did I jump from having things happen to me as a young person to going through things in the middle ages, and now in my 50s, health crisis. So sometimes when we have different situations that go on, even after we've lived through what it is that we've gone through, when we encounter new situations, it can bring you back to that place of being vulnerable and being hurt. Or even if you're going through a situation, you can't forget when you're currently going through something. Your mind automatically goes back to that thing that happened to you. So I had to do some self-evaluation and see, do I want to still, after being healed from years of misery of what had happened to me, do I want to go back to that place because I'm having a health issue? Do I really want to succumb to those memories and the thoughts and go back to that person I was that was just miserable because I couldn't get past what I went through? It wasn't till I was in my 30s when I finally began to heal, and I prayed and asked God to heal me from a lot of things, and He did. But we could bring things back that God has taken from us. So I had to ask myself, do I really want to go back down that road? That person that didn't care about people, that person that was mean and angry because I had unresolved feelings about the things that were happening to me. So I started taking it out on other people. Did I really want to go back down that road? And after, I guess, having a pity party about what I was currently experiencing with my health and having chest pains and other things that are going on. And when I thought about the past, all that did was make it worse. It looked like I couldn't get any kind of resolution from my present experience and my past experience. It looked like everything was culminating together. So I'm saying all that to say I'm at peace today, because I know whatever happens to me, that God is with me, even if he the test results said possible atrial enlargement, but it says possible. So it might not even be that. So I might have was panicking for no reason at all. And then digging up the past, just laying down at night, couldn't hardly sleep because I rarely sleep anyway because I'm an insomniac, but just perpetuating and adding to an already stressful situation by thinking about things of the past, things that I've been healed from that I'm bringing back up. So I had to make a decision. I had to realize that I don't want to go back to that place. I don't want to be that angry person. I don't want to be that person that's filled with vile and hatred like I was in my 20s. And I thank God for my children because they helped wake me up to become a better person. But I don't want to go back to that because now they're grown and everybody's living their own lives. They're 36, 28, and 27. So everybody's got their own life. My 36-year-old daughter has a daughter, and my 27-year-old son has a son. Young children. Just both of them just turned 2. So they have their own lives. My oldest son, the 28-year-old, he works. All of them work, but he works and trying to build a career with the company he's with. So I have nobody to fall on at this point if I fall apart or if I go back to that person that I was. And if we get caught up in those emotions and that negativity, it only takes a little something to pull us back down to a place of feeling hopeless and feeling that there is no answer and wondering where your life went at all these years. I'm not that person anymore, and I refuse to go back there. I had my moment of pity, and I'm happy for the family support that I do have. My children do support me, but it's not like they're in the house with me where I can, go and cry on their shoulder because they still need mom sometimes. So I thank God for my family for being there for me to help me get through that situation. But I also prayed because I realized what was happening to me. I realized that I was getting sucked back in to my past. We don't want to get sucked back into our past. We want to be healed and delivered and made whole from our past. And we can't let current or present situations pull us back to a place that we're no longer in. So in a way, it's like you're forcing your past to come back and be a part of your present, and you could carry it into your future. We don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And I don't want any of you to do that. I want you to, if you have not healed from a past experience, don't blend it in with anything you may be going through currently, because all that does is muddle the situations together and you have a whole big glob of mess. I will say, though, that going through this experience has made me appreciate my life. It's made me appreciate life in general, because anything dealing with the heart or your internal organs is serious. And just already was going through a lot. I lost my pastor last month, somebody that was a mentor to me and helped me through a lot of situations. I lost her all of a sudden, and that hurt. And then I had a family member on my husband's side that passed a year ago, Christmas Eve, and then we were going through that emotion. So I was already in a vulnerable state. And then when the situation came up week before last with my heart, just kind of tipped me over the edge. I forgot who I was. I forgot that the Holy Spirit dwells in me and to whom I belong to. I was falling apart and crying and just being not myself. But like I said, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be ungrateful for the things that God has already brought me out of, has healed me and delivered me from, and let me be able to give my testimony, to not doing it now currently because of COVID, but to go to different churches and different ministries and to be able to talk about the things that have happened to me to heal others. I still do it just in another platform, but I love being able to do that. I love being able to go help others get through the situations that they seem to be stuck in. But if I get pulled back in myself, I'm not able to do that. So how can I help you today? How can I help you not get stuck in the resolution phase, but get amped up about the life changes, about the things you want in your life, about having clarity about your past being your past, and to not have those dreams, to not have those thoughts, or to give you the strength to leave that situation, to give you the strength to say, I'm not going to take this abuse, whatever kind of abuse it is, either physical, financial, verbal, whatever abuse it is. How can I help you? What can I say today to help you get stronger, to get to that place, to forgive yourself for still having those thoughts, or knowing that it's beyond your control to have those dreams? Well, I think one thing that I can do is assure you that you're going to get through it. You're going to be okay. You're going to get past this. Because the thing about life is, it's almost like when we see a little child and we say children are resilient. Children can go through things and within an instant they bounce back. And it's like they didn't go through anything. They can fall and bruise themselves and they'll cry for a minute. And the next thing you know, they back up again. Well, it's the same thing with us, except life kind of buries that part of us when we go through things. We suppress that strength that we have, that inner strength that we have to rebound back. And then when we have multiple situations that happen to us, multiple things that bring us to that place that we feel that, okay, I'm just going to always be stuck here. No, you're not going to always be stuck there. We're not stuck anywhere. We have the strength and the power and the ability to do whatever it is we want to do in life. Even though it may not feel like it. It may not feel like you can do anything. It may feel like you're always going to be stuck. But the thing that I could tell you today is, first of all, try to deal with a situation when it comes up. Don't prolong it and let it hang around and say, well, I'll tend to it next week. Tend to it as soon as you can, as soon as possible. Make sure that you're in a place mentally to begin to handle situations when they come up. So it's important that our minds are healed. Yes, our heart needs to be healed, but it's important that our minds are healed, because the mind is the place that keeps the memories. It's the place that the dreams lie. And if we don't get healed in our mind will always pull us back to a place of being vulnerable and helpless. And this always happens to me. And this old catch saying that if it wasn't for bad luck, I would have no luck. You know, we have to stop saying those things out of our mouth. We have to stop claiming all that negativity. We were a victim, but we're not victims anymore. We are victorious. And we have to say that. We can't keep saying, I'm a victim. 20 years later, I'm a victim. No, you're not. You're victorious. And you have to start saying that. That should be one of our affirmations, to say, I am victorious. And to be able to look at yourself in a mirror, or when you're driving, to look in your mirror that's in the car or your vehicle, and just say, I'm victorious, and I'm not going to be stepped on. I'm not going to let my memories step on me anymore. I'm not going to let this situation that I'm in currently step on me anymore. Even if you're going through something besides being in an abusive situation, all of it can be rectified. You don't have to be in that place of being a victim. You don't have to be stomped on. You don't have to be kicked. You don't have to be slapped. You don't have to have the money withheld from you because you're just a wife or you're just a partner or whatever the situation may be. You don't have to get talked to worse than the family pet does. These are not things that we have to do. We don't have to put ourselves mentally in a situation where we subject ourselves to any type of negative behavior. We have to love ourselves enough to know that, yes, I did get raped. Yes, I did almost die from that rape, but I lived. So what am I going to do with my life today? How am I going to not only make myself better, but help somebody else to get better, help somebody else to heal? We have to look at ourselves in a positive light, or we will always get pulled back into negativity. So where does that leave us? What can we do? Each day, and it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and say, this is the day. This is the day. You might, but then are you mentally in a place that this really is the day? We don't know, but we can strive to do things. We can strive to make positive steps to get to that day. You might not leave tomorrow, but start making steps. Start implementing things to where you don't have to stay in that abusive situation. And whatever you're going through right now, whether it be health, whether it be financial, whether it be that COVID is still among us and we still have to mask up. If it is that your children are still doing virtual learning and you just need your space, that time that they were in school was a blessing and you wanted to get back to reality where they're able to go back to school and you can have your peace. Or if your job laid you off and you're struggling to pay your bills and whatever the situation is, don't get that muddled with what you've been through as a victim, when you were a victim, when we were victims. I was there, but I thank God I'm not there now. And it didn't take long because I had a support system. I had the ladies in the organization. I had my siblings. I had my husband and just different ones that helped me get through what I was going through and helped me to realize that you don't mix it. Don't make it bigger than what it is. Don't exacerbate it. So I want us just to really, really analyze on this 18th day of January, and as we press through to get through the first month of the year, as things are happening, even the news may depress you, and you may feel in a place where you're torn about what's going on, or you feel like there is no hope for our nation. Just different things can put you in different places, but get a clear perspective of how you are feeling and why you are feeling this way, and talk to someone. Don't keep all that stuff inside, because that helps muddle everything together when we keep that stuff inside. So I want us to really do some self-evaluation for us that have been victims, or for us that have went through sexual trauma or childhood trauma, or sex trafficking victims. And now that we're in a place where, we thought we were healed, but we're going through situations that have pulled us back to a place of feeling like nobody needs us, that we need help. But there's nothing wrong with saying we need help. There's nothing wrong with saying, I need somebody to talk to me. I need somebody to help me get through this process so I can get back on track. Please find somebody to talk to, because the longer you try to do it on your own, and if you're not successful, it's just going to pull you back in. As victims, we have a sisterhood, brotherhood. We have to stick together. We have to look out for one another, and we have to share our experiences of things we've gone through. That's the only reason I shared about with my pastor, leaving us and going on to be with the Lord, and with my health issues and other things that have been going on, to show that we all can be in a place of where we need help. But I could have not said anything to anybody. I could have went on and still be in that place where I was. But the thing was, I felt so good until I was able. My church does conference call services, and I was able to give the message on Sunday about faith and about not waiting until we get into a situation to try to build our faith. Our faith should be built day by day as we experience life. So when we do get to those momentous occasions, we'll know that God has us, or we'll know that we're going to be all right. So yes, I went through that dark place, but I thank God I'm back in the light. And you could be in the light as well. You could have that same happiness that you were having before you started going through whatever you're going through right now. Or if you're still stuck in that house with that abuser, if you're trying to keep the family together, even though you're getting bruised and stuff almost on a daily basis, or even if it's not daily, just the fact that you're getting bruised is too much. There should be no bruising. There is no bruising in love. There is no bruising in being together. There is no bruising in love licks. I don't believe in love licks. There's no such thing. So just stay encouraged. Just be a person that knows that you're all right. You're going to be all right. You just need to get through this little hurdle. But going through this little hurdle, don't bring up hurdles from the past. So I hope this podcast was able to help someone. If you want to send me an email, please send it to awomanssoulrestored@gmail.com. That's awomanssoulrestored@gmail.com. You can find me on Facebook, Latanya Wiggins Hendry, or on the podcast social page called A Woman's Soul Restored as well. So this is Latanya Hendry for this week. Please be encouraged. Happy New Year to each of you, and truly make it a happy new year. Do that thing that's going to set you free. Make a decision not to make a resolution, but just to make a life plan and to act on it and to do what you can. And we know things will work out for our good, but it's all counting on us. So until next time, be blessed.
Ooh.